Now we're rolling.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
So the idea is that I was planning to do a Q&A with questions from my patrons, but they didn't really have many questions for me. So I gave Mirre the opportunity to ask me a few questions. Shoot.
Yes. We might as well start with the question that your audience actually have. So,
Yes.
which are those questions?
Question. On what sites do you advertise the opportunity for mermaid crew members to join you? That you can answer too.
Yeah. I can answer where we got in touch with each other, and it
Yes.
was via the site called crewfinder.net.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I met Megan through Find a Crew. I met Carla to crewfinder.net too. I met Carla there. I met you there. And I also met Sophie there. So 4 out of 5 was at findacrew.net and Megan through crewfinder.com. Yes.
All right. But you are also advertising in the local newspaper advertising place, right? Kind
Yes.
of like the Gumtree.org.
No, the thing is that there was one other girl that was planned to join us for this trip, and then she had problems getting time off from work, so she couldn't make it, and we had an extra opening. So I did I did an advertising in a Norwegian buy and sell site that is quite big, and this caught the media's eye because I was searching for a young female age 20 to 30, around 30, and that was not very political correct. Yes, but I got so many answers, it was impossible to pick someone to come with me, and yeah, the time, it was too short notice, so it didn't turn out. So we have been sailing alone.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And that was the only question that you.
That was the only question my audience had.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I guess I'll pick up from there.
Yeah.
So Roger, please tell me, how did you get into this sailor life from starter?
From the start.
Yeah, like, did you grow up on the sea, or what kind of family relations do you have?
I didn't grow up on the sea. I grew up by the sea. My family on my mother's side, my uncles are professional sailors, not sailors, but they've been around the world many times on everything from cruise ships to bulk carriers and gas ships, and yeah. So they've seen the world. And my grandfather was a fisherman. I started out my career at sea as a fisherman too, and I've been working offshore. And yeah, I always liked the sea, I think. I think that's part of it. But I didn't pick up sailing until I moved to Sweden. Sailing in Sweden is a huge thing, right? You're Swedish, you know?
Yes, I know. The sailing community is quite big.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Where I come from in Norway, boats are more like fisher boats, or boats that can do some use of some kind. It's not leisure crafts, the same as here. And the leisure crafts we have are most often motor crafts, because sailing in the fjords of Norway is a challenge. So not many people do that, actually. But when I moved to Sweden in 2006, I bought my first sailboat on spring 2007. It was not a very big boat, but I kept it for a year or two, and then I bought the next one. And in 2009 I bought the boat before this one. It was a little bit smaller than this, but very similar to this, and I had that one for many years. So I actually learned to sail in Sweden, and that is when I talk about things on the boat, I always use Swedish terms, not Norwegian terms. So it can be a bit confusing when I have Norwegian crew and I speak about things I never heard about before.
I can admit that it's sometimes confusing being a Swedish crew member as well, because sometimes there's the Norwegian word for something.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
happens.
a mixture.
Yeah, it happens.
But that's the beauty about being the international waters, kind of.
Well,
when we're in Greece, we don't use the Greek word for it, at least.
It's been over 2 years now since I moved from Sweden, so I've lost a little bit of it.
So when the girls were on the boat, were you using the proper English word, or were you like mixing the Swedish Norwegian word?
You are the first Swedish girl to join the boat. Megan and Felicia were American girls. Sophie was a Swiss girl that has learned a little bit of Norwegian. So you're the first Swedish girl I've been sailing with.
Yeah, but I'm just my question is like the terms that you're using on the boat. Were you like referring to the sheet, the main sheet?
Yeah, I was trying to use the English terms. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. As far as I know them. Sometimes it is a struggle finding the right word when you need it.
Norwenglish?
Yeah, and a little bit of Swinglish too.
Beautiful, beautiful. As long as there's understanding and people like pointing at what needs to be done, so that's perfect. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. So when did you get the idea of inviting young women to come join your sailings?
Well, there are maybe two answers to that. I planned to go sailing with my ex-girlfriend, but even if we had been sailing alone together, we would need an extra hand now and then because of a handicap of hers. Now that she didn't come along and we broke up, that was the natural way to go, because I still wanted to go through with my plan. I still wanted to make videos, and I know what I want to see when I watch videos like this. I want to see beautiful places, beautiful people, and stuff like this. Okay, this one maybe died on us. On my own, I can't make as interesting videos as I can when I bring a young woman along. Most of my viewers are men, and I know this, and I even have statistics on it. And I think the dynamics also. We could be two guys on the boat, but I think a male and female dynamic always makes a better team.
Absolutely,
Don't
I
you
totally
think?
agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever brings any dynamics definitely brings another level to everything.
Yes.
So that's why I actually felt a little bit sad for the second girl not joining us, because that would actually have created even more dynamics, because you and me, we have been out for 2.5 weeks soon, and even though we've had super nice times, like, okay, you know, I can't even stand my boyfriend for a certain amount of weeks, because then I get restless and I need a certain influence or like people coming in and out of life.
So what you're saying is that right now you just want to take around my neck and just...
No, not that bad, not that bad. But if I were to stay like for another, say that we would have like agreed upon a full month, I would have gone to shore to spend some days on my own, doing some alone traveling, meeting some people, because that's what I feel good about. But that's just a personal reflection. But cool. So that's how you ended up here. Have you ever used the community as some kind of a dating community?
You mean like you're looking for girls in dating communities, or?
Yes. Has that ever been like what do you say, like a unique selling point, like an extra good thing, or has that ever appeared?
I'm gonna be so honest with you that I'm gonna say that yes, I have been using dating communities to find also a crew member that didn't just come along for the sailing part. I have done that, but Actually, I felt that it was more negative thing than a positive thing, that I was actually offering someone to go sailing with me when I did that. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that again, but yeah, I probably will, of course.
I love it that we're talking about like how to make mix business and pleasure.
Well, I'm only human. I can't deny that sometimes a romantic female relationship is longed for. Absolutely. And I want to be very clear about the thing that if someone joins me here for sailing and she comes along and there is no answer, no, there's nothing said about a romance up front, then I will never take initiative for anything.
I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
I mean, that was actually one of my concerns when I joined. But you've been a true gentleman all the time.
Thank you very big. Yeah, but it's important. No woman should come onto the boat feeling that she has to give something that she was not up for. But if you meet under other terms, if there is a romance in the bottom, or to start with, and then bring someone in, that's a totally different thing, at least for me. Yeah, I won't speak very much about the Carla situation, but in that situation, she brought up the thing about a romantic relationship. That was her idea from the start, and I swallowed the bait. And I won't deny it, I won't lie about it. It was stupid of me, but I would probably do it again.
It's an experience, of course.
Yeah.
But all right, that's very comforting.
Yeah.
So a little bit more about experiences. Like your, can you tell us about your worst sailing experience? Have you ever been like frightened of either like falling overboard or crashing the boat at some cliffs or whatever? Can you describe any situation where you have actually felt a little bit of fear or anxiety?
Yeah, if you look at my video, my first solo sail, and I come into the harbor of Denja, and I was not well prepared. I didn't have the VHF channel to call them up, and it was a crazy winds around me and nowhere to go to. I spun around within this harbor so many times, and on my way in it was crazy waves. Then I was a little bit scared, yes. Aside from that, no, I haven't really been really scared. But only yesterday I told you to go down and put on a life jacket because we have very rough waves. But I think that is the sensible thing to do. You don't know when it's gonna get worse, so you do that. But it doesn't mean you're scared.
It's just being well prepared.
Yeah.
So definitely.
And here in the Mediterranean, weathers are changing by the second, so you have to be prepared for almost everything all the time.
Oh yeah.
And now we haven't been sailing half as much as we planned to because of bad weather, really.
Well, the weather hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been like as pro sailing as we would have hoped.
No, it hasn't. We have had a lot of wind, and we spent 4 days in Naxos waiting for calmer winds, which we were promised and we didn't get.
Oh yeah, and now we're getting a lot more wind than what was promised. So weather forecast here in the Med.
You can use them to wipe your ass.
Well,
if they came on paper.
If they came on paper. Oh yes. Yes. So that was about bad experiences. But have you got like any like, if you take a stroll back your memory and like take a walk down memory lane, have you got like any particular moment that you like felt odd or like fulfilled about the moment and you were just super happy while sailing?
Yes, I have many of those now.
That's beautiful.
Yes, I really do have many of those moments. And the thing is that I can relate this to when I was alone on the boat, or which girl was with me on the boat at the time. which is kind of nice too. The first really good solo experience, and then I'm only talking about experiences from I bought this boat.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about any of my previous boats now. The first really good experience was my solo motoring sail over from Cartagena to Melilla, where I had the dolphins and the sunset, and it was so beautiful. I so wished I could have shared that moment with someone, because that was almost a religious moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I also had another moment after dark on the way down when I saw the stars on the sky, and the moon came up behind me like a red fat orange. It's glowing so bright. That was so beautiful. Yeah, and I have to mention the Gennaker sailing with Felicia. That was a beautiful moment. And now we had a fantastic moment, me and you together, in Kleftico.
Oh yeah.
That was something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Outside the caves.
I was just sitting here, melting it, absorbing it, and smiling from ear to ear, I think.
Oh yes, I can vouch for that.
Yes, that was fantastic.
It was good. All right then. So that's a little bit about the positive experiences as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else that you want to share from experiences, or anything that you wish you would have known before you started?
I wish I would have known how expensive this lifestyle is. I did, but yeah. The most expensive thing now for me is actually going to work. I can still live like this because I have a job that allows me long periods of sailing in between. But going back to work with the travel costs, and not only the airfare tickets, but then you need ferries here and there, and you need to place your boat somewhere. And in the Mediterranean, that's crazy expensive. In Ibiza, it was 350 euros a night in the season. That's the most expensive, but a normal price is around 50 euros a night. That's quite a lot of money, especially when you need to leave your boat for up to 3 weeks. Yep.
Spending it.
Yep. And of course that also eats from the budget of the maintenance on the boat. So I did a lot of upgrades on this boat. Some necessary, some maybe not, but I wanted to do them. And the money flies.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And of course me filming everything and putting it on YouTube is with the intention of making a little bit money, but with the number of sailing channels out now, no. You don't make much unless you really make it. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. So don't do this, start a YouTube channel and go sailing to make money. Then you need a better plan than I have. Or you need a lot of patience.
Donors.
Donors are very welcome. Just go on, come on.
Sponsors,
Yeah.
it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of competition about the sponsors too, and they normally want to profile themselves with the bigger sailing channels.
Mm-hmm. So even though some parts are budgeted for later, what's next in pipeline for maintenance on the boat?
Oh, I have a lot of projects now this winter. I don't know how many of them I can actually make. I should have had 2 new sails. I need to service the steering system and the autopilot. And I need to service the Yacht thruster system on this boat, because that's not operational just now. Which means I have no thrusters at all. I bought this boat because I had thrusters both aft and front, but now there's nothing. So there is a lot of maintenance things I need to do now. The list is long. That's just some of it.
That's where the prioritization comes in.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, my list of prepared questions is running out very quickly.
Okay. Yep. I hope you guys can hear this because it's very windy around us now. We are experiencing a lot of winds every single day now. So, but we will.
Yes.
Did you understand any of that?
That's Norwegian, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not. Gulebøy is not Norwegian either.
What?
And klante taxi is not a word, just in Sweden.
You're ruining my Norwegian.
Yeah.
Gulebøy and klantetaxi, those were like...
Yeah.
I assumed it was the truth.
Yes.
Truthful words.
Well, maybe I can ask you a few questions. Will that be okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Captain.
You're actually the first girl to join me sailing who's not a single girl.
Yes.
What does your boyfriend think about this?
Well, he's happy when I'm happy. And since I got time off and I love to travel, so...
Yeah.
He was a little bit skeptical at the beginning, but we do have a super open, good conversation going, so... If things have been cool between you and me, I would have taken a flight back home straight away, because...
And it's just so everybody knows, it's been more than 5 days on the boat now.
Yes. we're closing in to when I'm hopping off, so
yeah.
We're like two days off.
Yeah.
From 2 days away from there. Yeah.
Yes. That's good. That's good. Yes. Yeah, we met at findercrew.net. Have you been jumping on? Have you met people on findercrew.net before to go sailing with them?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Where did you go then?
I connected with a beautiful Swiss couple, me and my boyfriend. So we went sailing with them from Palma in Mallorca, Spain, and we went to Corsica for a stopover, and then we went to Italy mainland, where we had a sailing on. I think we were on the boat for 10 days.
Okay.
Doing some sailing. Had a really good time, and it's just a beautiful way of meeting new people.
And then you got a little bit involved in the sailing, did you?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. And you also been sailing in Cuba?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
But that was not via the Find a Crew website. It was a different site. So I was traveling alone to Cuba, and I came across an ad for someone having a big boat doing cruising in Cuba, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. I might hitchhike with them for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
So I hopped on, joining this. It was actually more of a Scandinavian cruise.
Okay.
Cruise crew, at least. There was one Iranian girl, but the rest of them were a bunch of Danes and Norwegians. The captain was Swedish originally.
Okay.
But
wow, there's a lot of wind now. It's gusting. I really hope this won't ruin everything here with the sound and stuff.
No, that's no worries.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went sailing. We had a good time. I was 2 or 3 weeks sailing in Cuba, and then we went to Jamaica and stayed there for a week, and then I had to continue my travels. So I traveled to Costa Rica. We met up with my friends.
And you also been joining Yacht Week twice.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's not fun.
Well, it depends on what perspective you take on it.
Yeah.
If you're a local, having your beautiful island invaded by yacht weekers, then it's not too much fun. But I had a great time there, for sure.
But when you're joining Yacht Week, do you get to sail anything?
Well, it depends on the captain of the boat.
Yeah.
Some people are more keen to bring up and in the sails, but some people are not.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, are you involved in the sail trims and the steering the boat and everything like this?
It also depends on the captain.
Okay.
Depending on how much time and effort he or she wants to spend with the crew.
And how many people were you on the boat?
I
how many guests?
8.
8
7
guests.
or 8.
And 2 crew.
And 2 crew.
Yeah.
The latest time, yeah.
So it's kind of crowded. It's on boat the same size as this.
Absolutely, but then again, you don't spend. The only time you spend on the boat is actually while sailing, the transportation part, and then people are like everywhere on the boat basically, or sitting in cockpits. But most of the time it's like hang out in the marina. You go to restaurants, you go to parties, and parties last like all night and all day, and there are stage parties and everything like that. So the boat is more like a vessel, a transportation vessel. So it's not so much about the boating life. It's more about the party life.
Yeah. Okay. Another question. If you should compare sailing on a boat like this, where 2 or 3 people, compared to a yacht week crew, a yacht week cruise.
Yeah.
What's the best thing with the yacht week cruise compared to this, and the opposite?
I would say the best thing about going yacht weeking, that would be the parties. Yeah, it's actually very well organized and very good steered from the company side, because it's like there's a schedule and people are actually keeping to the schedules as well. Yeah. And it's more about the networking, social activities, more than yachting as per se. But when it actually gets down to this kind of setup, where you have a boat and you're only 2 or 3 crew members, it gets, how do I say it? It's like it's more intimate, and you actually get to feel the sea a little bit more in a harsher way. People usually like watching the ad and the commercials for Yacht Week, and like, oh, yachting is so amazing, and also like the pictures that we're publishing as well, like beautiful pictures. And yeah, it's beautiful pictures, beautiful settings, but it's kind of rough from time to time, so it's not for the what's it called? Weak-hearted? Faint-hearted?
Faint-hearted, yeah.
Yeah. So
that was the Yacht Week? Or this?
That's the comparison.
Yeah.
So it's getting more intimate when you're sailing this way, and you actually have the opportunity of going when and where you want to go. So the flexibility and the freedom feeling that you actually can have is way better. But then, as I explained, like the lack of social interactions is...
Yeah. So if you turn flips it upside down, what is the worst thing about Yacht Week, and what is the worst thing about this?
Oh, the worst thing about Yacht Week is like the nastiness of it. It's like drunken people having sex everywhere kind of thing.
Oh no.
No, but it's like, for some reason it's like you don't want to be anywhere because people are like everywhere. It's not like an open gangbang that some boats are, but
okay. That was this week's commercial for Yacht Week.
I'm sorry guys. I will get hanged for saying this. But we had a very, very special trip, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and the worst thing here
is the lack of gangbangs.
No, definitely not. That's not why I joined Yacht Week at all.
No.
But yeah, well, I guess it's a social part.
Yeah.
That's what I'm lacking the most.
Yeah. I feel it's very nice to have someone to share everything with and all of this, but of course when you spend 3 weeks with the same person and it is from the start a stranger that you really don't share that much with, of course it's a challenge. Yeah.
But mutual respect and common understanding is like, it's the basics and foundation of it, so it's perfectly fine.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe not for full time.
No.
But I would totally do it again.
Good. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the boat. I'm saying that we still have some passage to go together. But
there might be a man overboard or a woman
so far, so good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Mirre has been... Inga from Sweden. We call her Inga from Sweden.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's been a fantastic girl to have on the boat. We had a lot of fun together. And not only on the sailboat, we also been driving around Naxos a few times on a scooter and exploring. So it's been very good having her on board and doing all the stuff that I would not dream of doing if I were alone. So thank you very much for your company.
Thank you, Captain. At your service. High five.
Okay, so you want to do this? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Comment down below.
Yes, you need to comment down below, and if you have any questions, send it to this man.
Yes. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. Ciao.
Ciao.